your blessings and your guidance as we launch this wonderful program. We pray that you will lead us to make this whole initiative a success and beneficial for startups and our country. Thank you for answering prayer. Amen.
As I indicated, we are here to witness the launch of Catapult 2023, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan (NEIP) and the Mind Builders Africa. I will introduce all of you as and when I have it. We have some special persons within us, and it's quite critical that I introduce them as well, but I will do that as the program unfolds. We have representatives from the NEIP, we have representatives from Mind Builders Africa, and then you are distinguished ladies and gentlemen. For those who are wondering why this program is crucial, I have been partaking in the AfriExim, that's the African Exports Import Bank annual meetings that happened over some 3 days ago. And if you look at our continent, there is the goal to achieve a combined GDP of some $16.2 trillion by the year 2015. And if we are to achieve that, we need to put in the structures in place as indicated by Wamkele Mene, who is the Secretary General for the AFCFTA Secretariat, which we house in our country, Ghana. Now, since we house this particular Secretariat, and also we seem to be in the center of the world, with all the focus on us as a people, it is quite critical that we make ourselves ready for Agenda 2050 and even Agenda 2063 as targeted by the African Union. And so programs like this is one that will ensure that all startups, all persons are ready for the target which we have set for ourselves as a continent to industrialize and really develop by way of our individual economies. This program, as I told you earlier, is in partnership with the World Bank, the Ministry of Finance, and then the NEIP. If you see up here, we have 3 wonderful gentlemen who will be leading us through all the program. But I will introduce them as and when they have to speak. It is quite important that I begin with the one who will give us a keynote speech. He is from Southern Africa. He is with the Tshwane University of Technology in South Africa by name, Professor Kumbulani Mpofu. If you do not know him, he has been with research for at least 19 years. His first research work was in the year 2000. He's an engineer, he lectures, he's currently the chair for Gibela. His research has focused really in the past 19 years, close to 2 decades, on manufacturing technologies. He's spoken largely and extensively in numerous conferences. His research focused as well on knowledge-based systems, robotics applications in manufacturing, and now, with his job as chair of Gibela, what he's seeking to do is to be a catalyst when it comes to skills development. He would rise to speak with us, but let's acknowledge his presence with us. He is in the person, as I told you, of Professor Kumbulani Mpofu. It was only fair and right that we begin with our home ground owners and the president of Mind Builders Africa and the person of Michael Roxon Nkrumah takes the podium to give us his address. Michael.
Thank you so much, Ima. I'd like to start on the existing protocols to once again welcome each and every one of us to this momentous occasion. I am extremely excited because this program is a germination of a seed that was sown about 4 years ago. And today we are here at the launch of Catapult Acceleration Program 2023. Catapult is not just a program. Is a catalyst for growth, innovation, and success. It is a platform designed to propel existing startups to new heights and equip them with the necessary tools and sophisticated mechanisms to help them thrive in this competitive business landscape. As the president of Mind Builders Africa, I have witnessed firsthand the incredible potential that lies within Ghana's entrepreneurial ecosystem. Our country is brimming with talented individuals who have the vision and determination to build remarkable businesses. However, we also recognize the challenges that entrepreneurs face along their journey, the need for guidance, funding, and access to supportive network. That is why we have collaborated with NEIP, the World Bank, and the Ministry of Finance to create Catapult. This program will provide tailored support, mentorship from industry experts, access to funding opportunities, and the opportunity to connect with like-minded entrepreneurs. We believe that combining these essential elements, we can truly accelerate growth of your businesses. Today, we mark the beginning of an extraordinary journey, and together we will break barriers, overcome obstacles, and create lasting impact. I encourage each and every one of you to fully embrace this opportunity, to engage with resources and guidance available to us, and then to dream big. Catapult is your platform to take businesses to new heights, and I have no doubt in mind that with the right mindset, dedication, and perseverance, we will achieve remarkable success. Let us embark on this exciting journey together and unleash the full potential of our entrepreneurial spirit, and we hope that this occasion will become a success. I thank you all for your attention.
Team here at Mind Builders Africa. That said, if you paid attention to Michael's speech, he did indicate that this particular program is in partnership with the World Bank, with the Ministry of Finance, and the NEIP. Thankfully for us, we have a rep from the NEIP within us. I told you we have dignified persons here, and as and when they have to speak, I will introduce them. And so it's now the turn for the NEIP, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan. By name of Mr. Franklin Osu Kakari. He is the Director of Business Support at the NEIP. Let's welcome him on stage.
Good afternoon to everyone. Welcome Professor Mpofu and all the dignitaries here present. It's an honor to be here this afternoon for us to help Mind Builders Africa to launch their acceleration program. And this is a program tailor-made for people who want to really accelerate their business. And I'm happy to see young people here who are ready. Ghana today is one of the growing ecosystems that you can find within Africa. If you pick the top 5 entrepreneurship ecosystems in Africa, Ghana is part. We are competing with South Africa, which Prof is coming from. We are competing with Nigeria, Egypt, and also Kenya. So if you look at the top 5, Ghana, South Africa, Egypt, Nigeria, Kenya. These are formidable ecosystems, and for Ghana to be competing in it is a great deal for us. And we have a lot of work as Ghana to be able to position ourselves well. Today we are looking at ensuring that we have young people who are daring, and as my brother said, with our Fienzin Bank conference that just happened. Ghana today is hosting the After Secretariat. It means that once everything goes through well, our markets are open for other African nationals for free, easy access for trade. How can our startups in Ghana compete with startups from South Africa? I've been to South Africa and I've seen some good products. If you look at the way we package our things, it means that we have more work to do. Otherwise, we cannot be able to compete with companies from South Africa, from Egypt, from Tunisia, from other big economies. So in order to do this, the government of Ghana has pivoted itself to help the young people to position themselves very well to compete within the African markets. Can you imagine Nigeria as a market with over 200 million population? If we can have Ghanaian startups entering into the Nigerian market, that's a big market for us. Our market is just less than 30.8 million, which means that the biggest Ghanaian industry that can create become a unicorn with about $1 billion US cannot make it from here unless they have an outside market, because our sales will be limited with the number of people we have who patronize goods and services. So we need young people who are creating transcendent businesses that can go beyond the shores of Ghana. And with our buying and selling, we cannot compete. So we need certain brains, certain young people who are dreaming and who can create. West Africa produced one of the first unicorns here through the music and entertainment industry. Mr. Easy today is a unicorn with about $1 billion funded from other investors. He did this, though he's a Nigerian, he did it by living in Ghana. It means that we can have Ghanaians also becoming unicorns, creating $1 billion businesses. This is where we want Mind Builders to help the World Bank project through NEIP and with the support from the Ministry of Finance. And at least they should screen different startups and get us top 20 who have the potential to become unicorns in the next 5 years. So Mind Builders, you have a huge task to call for application today, to be able to ensure that you can screen these applications and get us your top 20. Out of this top 20, we are expecting Mind Builders to at least get us one that can have the potential to become a unicorn. And can we have that kind of one business that with its assets base, with its volumes of sales, can be able to employ quite a number of people, can be able to make a meaningful impact in the economy. Even as a country, the support we are receiving from the IMF is about $3 billion. So if we have one company that is making $1 billion, it means that the person has a stake and a huge stake in the GDP of the country. So today, about 30 other innovation hubs across the country have similar opportunities, just like Mind Builders. We are looking at the one that will churn up the best startups that have the potential to become a unicorn. And the World Bank is ready to look at these businesses and provide more support. So for the next 6 months, the NEIP with support from the Ministry of Finance and also with support from the World Bank, we pay close attention to Mind Builders Africa to see how they accelerate a top 20. So what they are launching today, they will have the mandate to screen as many people as they can, but select the best 20 that will go through a series of acceleration and pick the best for us. That we can be able to inject some good level of capital to ensure these businesses can become. Through the whole thing, we are doing nationwide about 600 businesses. It is our focus that even out of the 600 businesses, if we get 1%, how many? It's 1%. 6. If we get 6 unicorns out of this program, Ghana can go to the two that we have $6 billion being amassed by these 6 startups in Ghana. So that is the key focus that we need to. And from here, World Bank will be replicating the program in other countries. So the unicorns from Ghana will have to also compete themselves with unicorns from Nigeria, from South Africa, from Kenya, from Rwanda, from Egypt, and all the key major playing ecosystems. And this is where our strength will come up to. So today, we are here to support, but we'll keep monitoring the activities of Mind Builders Africa to see that they are delivering the right models to accelerate the right form of companies that can become unicorns for Ghana. On this note, I urge all the startups who are here and those who will be reading this or looking at the application portal from their phones, their laptop, wherever they find themselves, take advantage of this opportunity, apply, go through the process, and once you are selected through, I am sure you'll be on your way to becoming a unicorn in Ghana. Thank you very much for the invitation. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Franklin. He, as I told you, is the Director of Business Support at the NEIP. As he mentioned, 30 and more innovation hubs are spearheading this program that will see some 600 businesses participate. But I can't say that I trust Mind Builders Africa to bring that particular one that will really unicorn in Ghana and beyond. Professor Kumbulani Mpofu, as I told you, is our keynote and guest speaker for today. He is an astute researcher. He has been doing research for at least 2 decades of his life, beginning in 2004. His research has focused largely on manufacturing technologies, has also focused on knowledge-based systems and robotics applications in manufacturing. He is the chair of Kibera, and as I told you as chair, what he's seeking to do is to provide some form of catalyst when it comes to skills development to transform this nation, for which we can also be beneficiaries of it. We are lucky to have him in our midst, and so it's now time to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Professor Kumbulani Mpofu. Prof.
Thank you very much, Program Director, for your kindness. May God bless you, get you wiser as you grow. It's my honor to be here. We started talking about this visit, I think it was almost 2 years ago. No one must come to Ghana, must come to Ghana. And finally today we are here. We have the opportunity to speak. I'm happy to see all the people in the room. I think Africa needs each and every one of us. And if we do not determine to create the Africa that we want to see for our children, we'll look back and we'll have ourselves to blame. I was running, there's this place which they call, I don't know, they want to build something for the founders of Ghana, next to the beach. Yeah. There's a stadium. I don't know what the name of the place is, but
Lifestyle Square.
Independence Square. Yeah. Okay, there's a big pillar there, and there's a big square with the Ghanaian flag on the chairs. Yeah, and the place is falling apart a bit, And I was thinking to myself, maybe we need an entrepreneur to come and make this thing work. Because already there's 1 billion. Yeah. Actually, more than 1 billion. If that drive is supposed to be set up with the plan that is supposed to be set up on, there's already 1 billion flowing there, And I mean, this is not a far-fetched idea. You don't have to go too far to get to the 1 billion. Just here, if you drive a few kilometers, get to the beach, that drive front is an opportunity. And yes, maybe somebody had a vision about this needs to be done. I think sometimes we get caught up in the rhetoric that, the politicians are corrupt, and they are the ones who are planning to make sure that all those monies that have to go into, they end up in their pockets. But I think we are the ones who are giving them that chance, because we are not coming up with things that are revolutionary about how we think about that. Obviously that project is stuck, I can pick it up, I don't need to read the newspaper, but as an entrepreneur it's an opportunity to say, how do you make this thing work? I go out there, talk to the right people, and then come with them and say, you know what, guys, there's this place, let's talk to the state, connect the people, and make it happen. But there's a mindset that you need to have to do those kind of things. And so this is where my story is going to start off. I was born and bred in Zimbabwe. Anyone of you has been to Zimbabwe? Product, and you don't have a clue who's going to buy it, forget it. Just forget it. It's not worth the piece of paper that you are putting it on. It's not even worth the laptop that you're putting all the stuff into, because no one is going to buy it. Get somebody who's going to buy it first. Let that be your first task. Hustle for a buyer. Someone who's like, you know what, I've been looking for this thing. Or, actually, that's not what I'm looking for, but it's close. Then that's the person to stick around and start developing that to make sure that you have a buyer before you start putting all the energy and all the, So 4 5 years down the line, we had all these technologies that were established, with machines that were built here in Africa, designed by Africans, and no one was buying them. Very sad story. So, and then the university decided, no, now that I have my PhD, maybe I must be an academic head of the department. So they gave me this role to be an academic head of the department, and I had to run the department at the university. And one thing that I picked up as soon as I was in that role is that we are producing all these undergraduate students, and they don't have opportunities to go and work. Is it the same in Ghana?
Yeah.
Same problem?
Yeah.
They just produce them, Like this machine is just running, and there is no machine that is making sure that whatever is coming out of this machine is getting into that machine and doing something useful. This machine just runs and produces all this stuff, and it starts piling up, and sooner or later there are flies around because the stuff is being produced and it's not going anywhere, and it's getting stale, and the situation is becoming a bit stinky. So I went to my dean and I said, look, I really need to apologize. I don't think this is a very good idea to work this way. Let's think about doing things differently. He didn't agree with me at the time, so I said, okay, it's fine, I don't agree, we don't agree. But I said, okay, I'll put it on my shoulders. That I'll go out there, get an industry partner, and make sure that we can establish an ecosystem which is linked to industrial problems. So our incubation program is focused on a specific industrial program. Okay? So there's a company in South Africa that is building trains. Okay? So in the process of building those trains, you obviously need the people who need to supply the materials just before the final assembly of the train. Then you've got the people that are supplying those who are assembling. And then, you call them tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and so on and so forth. So I negotiated with them and I said to them, when we started off, the idea was skills, like was mentioned by the program director. But sooner or later we realized that, no, yes, it's about skills, but actually what we want is entrepreneurs out of this. And so we've got a building in the city that we rented out. The university said they're not going to help me with rent. I must sort out the rent because that's my problem. I created the problem. I must have a solution for it. I said, it's fine. I stepped aside from my head of department role and left all the interesting things that were associated with that. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. So when Franklin came through to South Africa, he found us already at this building. We had been running it for a few years. And to cut a long story short, the space that we were occupying was 1/4 of the entire building. The university has decided to buy that building so that the effort that we're doing around the engineering work can be replicated across the faculties. So now we've got a building. If you guys come through, I don't know what entrepreneurship things you're into. We can work with you to find ways of you accessing and lending in South Africa. If you can't make your 1 billion here, maybe you can come to South Africa and you can work with us and find opportunities to bring things from Ghana to South Africa. And we also work with the Mind Builders Africa and get stuff coming through this incubation setup here and accessing the Ghana market, because at the end of the day, if we don't think that way, there's no way that we're going to go. So I'm going to ask the guy who's playing the video to just to give you a sense of, I'm not sure if it's clear enough. Yes, so that's the essence of what we're doing. And by the way, this is backdated to 2 years back. Okay, so that data is 2 years backwards. The buying of the building happened last year in December. So the journey continues. We need to make it work. And I'm saying to you guys here this afternoon, would like to hold hands with you as Ghanaians here. And I think we can make Africa work. Everybody believes that nothing's happening in Africa, but I think if we all play our part, we're going to get somewhere. So at this juncture, I'm going to open up for questions, and I'll happily explain even some of the things maybe that are not clear on the slide. But I hope you saw the blue train. Did you see the blue train? So that's the final product that is being produced that we are supporting in terms of manufacturing. And I was explaining to some of my colleagues at the conference that I've been attending that there's a high-speed rail plan for Africa, and the plan that is going to be developed region by region. So it's going to start off, there's going to be high speeds connecting cities in Southern Africa, high speeds connecting cities in Central Africa, then high speeds connecting cities in Western Africa and Eastern Africa and Northern Africa. And the idea is that when you have those hubs that have started off, then you need to connect everyone. It becomes more achievable. I think some of you have heard, if you're not too young enough, about the Cape to Cairo rail. Anyone heard about Cape to Cairo rail? Maybe it's betraying your age a bit, but okay, so it looks like you're not from that generation. But for us, when we were growing up, there was always this thing that, when you're older, there will be a railway line that runs from Cape Town all the way to Cairo, and it's not yet there. But maybe that's the opportunity for the 1 billion. Because if you're going to build it from Cape Town to Cairo, and by the way, our African map is a bit, the global map is a bit deceptive, because Africa is a bit bigger than it looks on the map, So there can easily be the trillion just on the rail infrastructure and the trains that need to run there. The trillions that we were speaking about become like a joke. Because there is establishing that, getting all the trains there, and making all the trains and all the companies that need to be created to put in the path. But that's not the only industry. Because what are these trains going to be moving? They're going to be moving goods and services across the continent. And the reality is that all that is in our hands. The Kwame Nkrumahs and the Nelson Mandelas and the Mugabes have done their part. What will our children say about us? That those parents of ours, they're a bunch of winners or losers. It's up to us to decide. It's all in our hands. Okay. So I'm opening up for questions. Over to you, Program Director.
Thank you so much for that. He shared a lot of insights for me. The three key takeaways is you need to have the mindset. If we are to truly transform Africa, it begins with the mind. And Mindfulness Africa is here to do that. We also spoke about goals. In life, you need to have goals because they are important. And he says, if no one is going to buy it, don't start it. If no one is going to buy your product, don't start it at all because there won't be any market for it. It's simplified demand and supply over there. And lastly, about collaboration. Prof is still with us, and he is giving us the opportunity to ask him any question. And of course, Franklin and Michael too are both here. If anyone has something that you want clarity on, they are willing to give you some answers. Anyone going first? Anyone? Or perhaps I should start. Prof, you are within the sector. I can see from the video you brought the train, the blue train. If you come to my country, Ghana, we have the Tema Pakadan railway line. We have a lot of railway lines in the country that are not even working, and the government is striving to bring all of them out. But there's been certain commentary that when you want to develop a railway line, you should focus more on transporting goods than people. Currently, what we have is transporting people. Is it a misplaced priority, or is this a start?
So you're saying currently you're transporting
People.
on the railroad,
Yes.
not goods.
No goods here.
Okay. So this may shock you a bit. Cambridge University? You know Cambridge? Yeah? That's Zimbabwe. That university is in Zimbabwe, right? Cambridge University. Huh? People are saying, yes. Which Cambridge is that one that you're talking about? I'm just making sure you're with me. Where is Cambridge University? I mean, you are a British colony. You must know those things like the back of your hand, no? Yeah, because that's how we've been created to think. So there's a friend of mine, the professor from Cambridge University, and so I said, come and speak in Africa about sustainability. He's a sustainability professor in our manufacturing sectors. And you know what he says to me? He doesn't use the aeroplane because the aeroplane is the most inefficient way of traveling. The aeroplane is the most inefficient. For me to leave South Africa and arrive here, the damage I've done to the lives of the children that I'm going to give birth to. God help me. Don't judge me there. Because I'll need to account. Okay. So air travel is not the most sustainable way of traveling. That's a fact. It's not hearsay, it's a fact. So we're doing much damage to our planet if we are doing all this air travel, right? So maybe that answers the question indirectly. But the fact of the matter, the reason why the African Union is speaking about this high-speed rail is so that we can connect more on the rail than we can in other means. Because if there is, it's going to take us a bit longer, but if it's high speed, what is the distance between here and Johannesburg, those of you who are very fast on Google? How many thousand? I thought entrepreneurs always have the phone has a calculator close by and a Google app close by, just to make sure that, how many kilometers is it? 7,000.
174.3
So roughly 7,000. Okay, so if your high speed is moving at 1,000 kilometers an hour and it's non-stop 500 kilometers an hour, so that's how many hours you get to Ghana, to Accra. Pardon? 14. Is that reasonable? I left South Africa at 3 o'clock in the morning. I landed in Ghana at, what time was it?
It was around 1 or 12.
Around about 12.
Yeah, around 12:45.
Around about 12:45.
Yeah.
How many hours was that?
12 hours.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. to 12.
Yeah, that's like 9 hours.
Yeah, that was like 9 hours. But that was one of the shortest flights. The other flights were suggesting that I would take 23 hours. Because I had to fly to Dubai, and then from Dubai, connect to Accra. And those flights were cheaper. So naturally, those are the flights that you go for because they are cheaper. You go to Dubai, then, or you go to the UK, you come back. It sounds silly, but that's where most of the planes go. And those routes are cheaper because they've got a lot of traffic. So logically, if you are going to be traveling to the UK on your own ticket, you get the cheapest flight, right? Yeah, so if you're also coming to Accra, look for the cheapest, and the cheapest is the most damaging. So cheap is not cheap. It's killing your grandchildren's planet. So the guys who are using the rail, how many people have been to Europe or Asia? Yeah? Come back and you count it up, it's a bit inefficient. But for a train, the train moves fast, it stops at the specific stations, no one is stopping the train, there's no traffic on the train. It works. It's a system that works, that's why it's being used globally. So we're not doing anything wrong by moving the trains. That's my long and short of it. And for me, that kind of transportation system is an economy. Because think about those trains that we are building in South Africa and what it implies. This is just making trains. We haven't started about making other things. And then you still need to maintain the trains. So we need to think about it in a very systems dynamic perspective. That there are other things that we're thinking about, especially as entrepreneurs. We're trying to create employment, we're trying to create opportunities for other young people to build businesses, etc., etc.
Well, thank you so
Very
much.
much. You didn't ask questions, but I appreciated the smiles. I see some of masks, but I appreciated the tip. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's have him once again. The question about training. Bill Gates. Yeah, he was in Nigeria just recently for a fair. He's been there twice. He's not been to Ghana. I don't understand why. And then I'm thinking about it, and it comes to mind that it's who you know, your networks. So we're speaking of 1 billion. There's a next Bill Gates, the next Dangote here. So within the next 2 minutes, please say hi to someone. Say hi to someone. Ask for the person's name.
Very hard. Kenneth Gates.
I believe we have the next Aliko Dangote, and then the next Gates, and the Zuckerberg, and then the Elon Musk. Yeah, I hope when you become the Elon Musk, you don't take away something like Twitter from Ghana. Anyway, please, we have a table here. I want some of you to come to this table so that you know when we're taking the video, it's much nicer. There's a table here. Someone should give you all the details you need to know about application, timeline, deadline, and everything about the project. Let's start where she comes up to.
So Catapult 2023 is specifically designed to provide comprehensive support to existing startups, enabling them to propel their businesses forward and achieve unprecedented success. We understand the challenges you startups face and the potential that lies within your ventures. And that is why we have crafted a program that offers a tailored support, mentorship, access to funding opportunities, and a vibrant entrepreneurial community. We invite each and every one of you to seize this opportunity and apply for Catapult 2023. Whether you have an innovative business idea or you have already embarked on your entrepreneurial journey, this program is designed to equip you with the necessary tools, resources, and guidance to accelerate your growth. To apply, simply visit our website at www.mindbuildersafrica.org/catapult and submit your application by 10th July 2023. We are eagerly awaiting your innovative ideas and ambitious spirits. Together, let us unlock the full potential of your startup and make a lasting impact in the business world. We encourage you all to stay media channels and websites for regular updates and exciting announcements about Catapult 2023. The journey ahead is filled with endless possibilities, and we look forward to supporting you every step of the way. So at this point, we declare Catapult 2023 officially launched. Thank you for your attention, and let us embark on this transformative journey together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now let's start on once again. So officially, we have the program launched. We have some 3-week window to the 10th of July to apply. The website is www.mindbuildersafrica.com/catapult2023. So go there, apply, and let's all change our nation and change Africa. Also soon we are done with the program, but before we go, I'll let Michael give us a few words to sign us off before we say bye-bye.
All right, thank you. I'd like to thank each and everyone here. We are so glad to see you here, and we look forward to applications coming in. We are poised in becoming the launch pad for businesses to grow. And just as we are saying, we are promising the World Bank and NEIP that the unicorn company is going to come from Mango.
We have Joshua, who led the Israelites.
Of course. I did.
Indeed, but we are also soon done with the program, and then now I want to invite Auntie Rita to help us with the closing prayer.
Prophet Rita.
Auntie Rita. Closing prayer.
Prophet Rita.
Auntie Rita.
Shall we please bow our heads and pray? Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for a successful program. We plead with you that whatever has been said and discussed here will help and push us to come through to us. This is what we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
My name is Emmanuel Jabin, and I've been your host throughout the program. I hope you connect before you go home so that when someday we have a Samuel Dangote, a Gates, and all others, we remember that we met here. But then there will be a record of this particular meeting, and it has to be by way of photographs. So please let's stay for a few more minutes. Let's take a group photograph, and then we are out of here. Thank you so much.
Can we